Hello, rookie card collecting friends, coming at you with somewhat of a more serious video. But I just wanted to share with you some things that are like bittersweet about my book. The sweet side of things, it's quite an accomplishment. It's humbling, actually. I have never sensed this sense of accomplishment before. And in a lot of ways, I'm proud of myself, but I struggle with that moral fight of being too proud. So I'm putting myself in check. The bitter side of things is that, sometimes it seems like people's reactions to your success kind of gives indication of where they're at or where your relationship is at. There's some that the majority of folks very supportive, especially this YouTube community. But I can say, honestly, that I don't know that everybody feels that way. There are some folks that hate watch your channel. And so if you have any form of success, there's things that are said and done that kind of give you that indicator. If you can understand what I'm saying, it's something that you really discern, and it's unfortunate. But I want to share with you why I wrote this book, because some may think that I wrote this book for money, or I wrote this book for clout, or for attention. And those things, my friends, are the furthest things from the truth. But I wrote this book. I want to give you 3 reasons why I wrote this book. And I wrote this book, number 1, because I was asked to. Yes. Throughout the years of me carving out the story of the rookie card. Okay. And this journey started in 2015, folks. This isn't something that I started the day before yesterday, but I have been devoted to studying the rookie card since 2015. And I began by writing articles on a website that got 0 traction. And that's how come I decided to start a YouTube channel, because I was learning that the way of websites or blogs and that kind of thing, you also have to include a YouTube channel. So I started the YouTube channel in 2020. And every single year, I'm uploading content, either written or by video, about the rookie card. And through it all, I've created this system. And the system allows me to funnel the cards in question through rookie card guidelines and best practices. And then it helps me classify them, so I have a better understanding, a better picture of what I'm looking at. And the community and viewers have been extremely supportive, like comments here from Trina Hunter. With me just getting into collecting, you have helped me so much with understanding where the heart of the hobby is, and how to keep this in mind as I move forward in these interesting days of chasing Victor Wembanyama. I appreciate you and your content greatly. New sub, and it was an easy choice. Keep up the good work, and I look forward to all of your videos. Comments like that are the wind beneath my wings. And I get comments like that frequently, either by way of comments on my YouTube videos, either by way of email or direct messaging. And over the years, I have been asked multiple times to write a book. That this system that I've created, the history of the rookie card as I have expounded on it on my channel, I have been asked, Victor, you need to put this in book form. And as that request and that idea was planted in my brain, I took it to my family and my close friends within the hobby, and it was a unanimous decision with them. It was a resounding yes. Writing a book is a great idea because we see the passion you have for it. So go for it. And so I did. And that is primarily the number one reason why I wrote this book. But there's two others. I also wrote this book because I saw the need to. Returning to the hobby in 2014 after a 10-year layoff, I was really confused. My confusion led to frustration. What was I so confused and frustrated about? The state of the rookie card. I just didn't understand how a rookie card can be considered anything and everything. I couldn't understand why listings had 5 years worth of a player's, and all of them were considered rookie cards. I'm thinking to myself, how can this be? And likewise with novice and returning collectors. They are confused and frustrated with the state of the rookie card as well. Oh, how do you know that? I know that because I read my comments, because I read social media direct messages that are sent to me, because I read the countless emails asking me questions about, helping them clarify the muddied waters, helping me. And you know what they ask? The novice collectors, they always ask, which one do I get? There's a sea of rookie cards for any particular player today, anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 of them in any particular year. And of course, they're all rookie cards. And the first thing a novice collector says, well, which one should I get? They don't know. They're very confused, and they go on YouTube and they say, it's always this influencer pushing this about money, or this. It always goes back to the money. And I'm against that. I'm the guy that goes against the grain. I'm the fish that's swimming upstream while all the other fish are swimming downstream. And so I understand where novice collectors are, and I understand where returning collectors are at, because I was one of them. And returning collectors, they're saying to themselves, how can this be? This rookie card thing doesn't make any sense. This thing is like all over the place. It's unorganized. It's chaotic. It wasn't. I don't remember the rookie card being this way. And so that is another reason why I decided to write this book, because my friends, I saw the need. I saw the need to educate. And lastly, the third reason why I wrote this book is to inspire change. Yes, dare I say, to inspire change. Now, one of the ways you do that, and this is, again, we're talking about why I wrote this book. And mainly the third reason is credibility. Credibility means basically trustworthiness. And I'm wanting to build trustworthiness in 3 specific areas. The first one, with collectors. I don't care if I build trustworthiness with flippers or investors, but I do care about earning trustworthiness, earning credibility with the collecting community. Also, card manufacturers. I want to build some credibility with card manufacturers and industry leaders. The message has to get to them. I don't sit high enough on the ladder to get their attention, but perhaps a book will. Some way, somehow, I'm hoping a book will land in their lap, and I just may end up shipping some folks this book. And why do I want to do that? It's not to line up my pockets. No, it's to inspire change. Credibility causes people to take you seriously. And listen, my proposal has been always this: the rookie card needs to come under reform. I'm not trying to change things, you guys. I'm not trying to upset the apple cart. All I'm trying to do is tighten the belt a little bit. I understand the complexities and the challenges and the many opinions that are out there, but none of them make sense because they're based on this idea of making money. It's based off of, it has no basis. It's a wild horse. And I don't want a narrow definition of the rookie card. Rookie card guidelines from the 1980s are not conducive to today's hobby. And I don't want a narrow definition, but I don't want a real broad one either, because I think that is just as bad. You know, something that I have to constantly contend with is, you know, I try to convince the purist, and a lot of times I get accused of being a purist, and in some sense I am. And I talk about that in my book. I would consider myself 49% purist, 51% progressive. And so something that I always have to contend with is convincing the purist collectors that it's not 1985 anymore, that the rookie card has evolved. Or I'm trying to teach this younger generation that not everything is a rookie card, that there are an established set of boundaries that have been forsaken by the industry, therefore forsaken by the hobby. And I'm convinced that if we're open-minded enough to the concept, that perhaps my book or the things that I say here on my YouTube channel can inspire you to have a different viewpoint, or perhaps agree that we need to organize this rookie card concept a bit. You see guys like Alan here, Alan Tamayosi. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. But he says here in this comment, "Thank you for making this video and for bringing much needed clarity. I miss those days when there was just one true rookie card." You see, guys like Alan here has been viewing my content. And what I really appreciate about guys like Alan is that they watch a video and they hear what I have to say, and it triggers, they're inspired. And then what they do is they start to watch other videos. And this is how come I like to make evergreen content, because you're going to want to learn more. You're going to want to hear what else I have to say on the topic. And I'll get guys that'll come back to me and say, "Dude, I am binge watching your channel because I am learning so much. What you are saying is spot on." And this is how come, guys. This is the purpose of what I'm trying to inspire you to see it. I want you to see what I see. And there's naysayers out there that they don't want change. Trust me, I have gone through my season or seasons of people going against everything that I have to say. There's naysayers out there that will come at me hard. Not so much anymore, because I've done a good job at explaining to people how I want to be treated. And so thank goodness we've passed that side of it. But there are naysayers out there that kind of draw their line in the sand and they stand on their mountain. And I'm totally okay with that. That's your way of hobbying. That's the way you want to do it. And that should be your right. But here's the thing, is that don't criticize others for creating their own mountain just because their mountain doesn't agree with your mountain. You see what I'm saying? And that's the side of it that to me is wrong. You want to believe what you want to believe. You want to be out here in left field somewhere talking some crazy stuff that doesn't make sense to the rookie card. Go right ahead. But don't beat me up or other people up. Don't leave comments to the people who are commenting on my videos about how ridiculous this idea is. No, it's not. Some folks just have a really hard time with wrapping their minds around change, and they fight against it at all costs. And I get it. And I can handle it. But my thing is, that's not how it works in the real world. You know, you go to your boss and you go to your job, you know, you're going to be given a directive and you have to follow that directive. But some folks want to argue every single point. But go to your boss or go to your job and, you know, tell your boss, "Hey, you know what? I disagree with you. I'm not doing it." Or go to a judge and tell the judge, you know, the judge passes a verdict the jury passes verdict, the judge passes sentencing, and you say, you know what, I disagree. I didn't do it. I disagree. So I'm not going to go to jail. No, I'm not paying that fine. No, I'm not going to do. Tell me how that works out for you. You see, and it's because some folks think that, when I say rookie card guidelines and best practices, people's mind automatically goes to rules, and they think that rules bind us, but rules don't bind us. Rules give us freedom within the boundaries to roam freely. There's a boundary that we need to establish as hobbyists, as collectors, as an industry. And within that boundary, we are free to do whatever we want, but to go off to left field and call something that is the third or fourth year of a player, to call that a rookie card. Come on, you guys. It seems like we're always looking to create this different rookie card. We stretch the boundaries to compensate or to fit into our agenda for what we want. But when done correctly, rules give us freedom within those boundaries. And that's at the heart of what I'm trying to do here. But they're all rookie cards. It doesn't matter. Yes, my friends, you see, that's sheep mentality. That is exactly what the card manufacturers want you to say. That's exactly what the industry wants you to believe. They want you to believe that they're all rookie cards, that it doesn't matter. But my friends, it does matter. It's time to reestablish the boundaries. It's time for us to rebuild the wall, to apply a set of boundaries, and to enforce it or impose it upon the industry or the manufacturers, to begin to follow the desires of the hobby and stop creating this chaos for cash concept that they have brainwashed us all to believe. And I know this is really strong language for somebody who is marketing their book, but it has to be said. Why? Because we've all been duped. And it's time that we become enlightened. There's a couple of things I want to share with you on this book. And I'm probably not going to do any more book videos because the book videos do horrible. Now, if I start talking dirt on somebody, or, and that'll take off, but that's just the nature, right? But that's okay. But there's some things that I'm going to close off here with this. And the first one is the term that this is Victor's rookie card rules. No, you guys. These are not Victor's rookie card rules. Victor doesn't have the authority to create these rules. These rules were created by the traditions that have been established within the hobby. These rules were established by us, the collectors, the hobbyists. They're not my rules. I resurrected the rules. I've dusted the cobwebs off of them. I've kind of updated them to bring them into 2024. And I might have done a little bit of remodeling, but this isn't something that I've created. This is something that I have reestablished. And I think it's important for us to reestablish this part of the hobby. Let's stop falling for the trap that everything's a rookie card. Lastly, two things, and I'm going to end here. I wrestled with who am I going to dedicate this book to? I dedicated this book to multiple people. And I changed it multiple times. But at the end of the day, I felt really good about this decision. I dedicated this book to the hobby. And I want you to know how seriously I took that decision. how much thought and pondering I had on that. And I went with my wife at first, and then my children, and then my wife and children. To this mentor or that mentor. But none of it was gripping me. But when I decided to go with dedicating this book to the hobby, there was just like an instant peace within me that said, yes, that's who I need to dedicate this book to. And lastly, I want to end with some acknowledgments, because this part of it was also very, very important to me. This part of it, I spent an enormous amount of time, but there are some people in my life that I have to thank for helping me write this book, or inspiring me to write this book. And I want to read you these acknowledgments, because this is something that most people don't even bother reading, right? But I want you to hear it and see it from me specifically. The first acknowledgement that I wrote in this book is, as many athletes do after a post-game interview, I want to thank God first and foremost for giving me the passion and ability to do what I do. I want to give him all the glory for this book and for my Savior, Jesus Christ. I once was lost, but now I'm not. Right? Just like a lot of the athletes do when they're interviewed in a post-game show. I want to give proper thanks to where it belongs. I want to prioritize this part of it first and foremost. That's really important to me. Next is to my wife, Tony. Thank you for your strength, constant support, and unconditional love. Thank you for inspiring me to be a better man, husband, father, and rookie card collector. You are indeed my good thing. Friends, I can't tell you, you would not probably understand the level of respect that I have for my wife. She's my rock, man. She is my best friend. She's my partner. She means the world to me, and she knows it. But that 1-2 punch there, with that acknowledgement, number one, and number two, I have these listed in priority order. I really do. Hobby historian, Bobby Burrell. Thank you for being my sounding board. Not many friends can understand where I was coming from like you. You always encouraged me to keep going and to get the book done. We got her done. Bobby Burrell, we speak, we talk, and we get together frequently. He's up in Canada and I'm here in Indiana, but through FaceTime, we touch base. And he's one that really, helped me to get this book done, because he knew I was writing it a couple of years ago when I started, and we didn't talk about it for some time. And one particular day, he just texts me and he says, "Hey, how's that book coming?" Well, I hadn't looked at the book in like 8 months, almost a year. I haven't even paid attention to it. I wrote the first 5 chapters, and the first 5 chapters were done like that. And then I hit a wall. And so Bobby reaches out to me. He says, "Hey, how we doing on that book?" And I'm like, I ain't touched it. And he comes back at me. I think it was in all caps. He says, "Let's get her done." And so want to thank Bobby Burrell. Shortly after that, inspired me to light a fire under it and get it going. That's when I opened. Once I got chapter 6 done, the rest of the book kind of opened up for me. So wanted to give proper acknowledgments to Bobby Burrell. I want to give thanks to Hobby Jedi Master, Dr. James Beckett. Your foresight in structuring the rookie card decades ago was a game changer. Your initial caution with me was understandable, but as I earned your trust, our conversations became priceless. Your insights and support were the key to my confidence in piecing this puzzle together. Dr. Beckett, throughout this process, has been a mentor, and there's nothing all the conversations we have had have been recorded. You can go back in my library, or you can go to his library, and you can see our conversations have always been recorded. And so there have been a lot of times where he has been very insightful in kind of not giving me all the answers, but kind of guiding me in the right direction, kind of encouraging me along the way. And I owed a debt of gratitude for the work that he'd done in the past in really establishing all of this years and years ago. Speaking of helping me out, speaking of helping me put the pieces of the puzzle together, I especially on the historical side of things, I want to thank a gentleman by the name of B.A. Murray. He is another gentleman that I consider a hobby Jedi master, but he's been set up at every national since its inception. And I had the honor of meeting him in 2021 and over at the National in Chicago. And over the course of 2 days, I was able to speak to him, and I spoke to many other people. But I was trying to find out the history of the rookie card, and I was seeking out the old timers, and I asked all of them specific questions. You can read about it in my book. But B.A. Murray was the one guy, and he really, everybody else kind of answered my questions. I have no beef there, but B.A. was the one who was really intrigued with my questioning. He was gracious, he was friendly, he was knowledgeable, and most importantly, he was willing to help. And it was one of them things that over the course of the National, we probably talked hours. We just sat and talked, and he kind of explained it to me through his point of view, right? But what I was basically doing was putting the pieces of the puzzle of how the rookie card first became to be. And that was kind of my task. So huge shout out, huge thank you to B.A. Murray for his help in this. He has been, I think he needs to be higher on the list, to be honest with you, but he was that important to this book. Attorney Edward Healy, a special thanks to him for reaching out in an effort to challenge me on making the rookie card guidelines and best practices better. He encouraged me to look into the principles of writing a contractual draft. And this was a game changer, and I am forever grateful for the assist. Eddie Healy reached out to me, an attorney, but he is a collector as well. And he reached out to me, and it was, it kind of scared me at first, where he reached out and says, "Hey, I want to talk to you. I'm attorney so-and-so. I want to talk to you about at that time, it was the 10 commandments of the rookie card." And he really helped me. He first says, "Man, this has been really helpful to me. It's really helped me understand and kind of given me a direction to start collecting." But he says, "Your document is amazing, but I think it can be better." And he began to explain to me the concepts of a contractual draft. And it's basically how attorneys kind of structure contracts and agreements and that kind of thing. And he gave me some resources to kind of that some websites that kind of teach you how to write a contractual draft. And it was a game changer when it comes to the rookie card guidelines and best practices. And that's when I made the major change. I did like a total rehaul on that document, and I was so pleased with the end result. And it is at the core center of my book. It is chapter 5 in the book. Carlos Alcazar, better known as Because I'm Carlos, gets a acknowledgement in my book. To Carlos, I wrote, "He was the first YouTuber who gave my channel a shout out. Eventually, I was a guest on his show, Because I'm Carlos, where he asked me a simple question. Why? He wanted to know why this rookie card thing was so important to me, and why should anyone care? At the time, I didn't have a real good answer, but that question gnawed at me for several weeks later. It challenged me to dig deeper and was the springboard to what I do." Yes, friends, Carlos, who perhaps is very, I would say, I don't want to say anti-rookie card, but he speaks very poorly of the rookie card. But half the time, I think he does it to provoke me. I think he does it to just get me on the channel. He's like a fisherman. He just throws the bait out there. So he'll make a snarky comment on the rookie card to see if I bite. But he really did. Yeah, was one of the first channels who really gave me a serious shout out, who was actually one of the first guys who really was understanding where I was coming from. And he really expounded on my content and what I was doing. It's one of those things where iron sharpens iron, right? And that question that he asked me in his episode just really made me dig deeper. And in one of the episodes, or one of the chapters in my book, I write, so who decides what a rookie card is? That chapter was inspired by that appearance on Because I'm Carlos. Chris McGill, CEO of Card Ladder, deserves my thanks as well. I said to him, "You are a godsend. I was discouraged and fighting a season of burnout when, out of nowhere, you stretched your hand and pulled me out of the pit. Your understanding and support of my work are on another level. I call you friend." Chris was one who really inspired me to press in. And it came at a time where I think that it was kind of a season where I was just really, really busy, and my channel didn't seem to have any traction. Things were not progressing, and I was getting a little discouraged when he reached out and says, "Hey, wait a minute here. You got something pretty cool here, and you need to keep going." And I ended up doing a video with him, an hour-long interview with him. You can check it out on the channel. I may leave a link to it at the end of this video, but you can check out my interview with Chris. The guy has a brain that is just so deep in the trenches of the hobby, and he has such an amazing foresight. One of the most smartest thinking people in the hobby, I believe. He has just such a level and a depth to the hobby, and just a great thinker, and really thankful for his support and friendship. And lastly, I saved the best for last, and this one is crucially important, and that is you. You, my friends, thank you so much for your support over the years in this journey. As I was learning, I was passing that off to you. As I was figuring things out, I'm passing that information off to you. So in my mind, we did it together, because your feedback, your comments, your support, your ideas, all of that, it was an exchange of information that we gave each other. And you folks are literally the wind beneath my wings to make this all happen. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much for your support. And thank you all so much for helping me write this book. With all that said, you know how we do it here, right? Remember, my friends, that not all rookie cards are created equal.
The true Jordan rookie from 1985.
Bullshit.
Until next time, buenos nachos, muchachos.